I've actually begun to see the left in a different light. Critics who have to watch shows such as A Little Late with Lilly Singh, a brown woman of colour. It's just not fucking funny. It's a late night show. She's only on this show because she's a brown woman of colour. If she was a white dude, she would never have got anywhere because she's fucking shit. So what we see here is the what happens frequently now on Rotten Tomatoes. When there's a shit show, but it has woke credentials, like there's a brown woman on what is supposed to be a funny show, the critic score is often very high, in this case 100%, and the audience score is often very low, in this case 41% and falling. Well, what does that score mean? It means that the audience are prepared to tell the truth and say it's shit, and it means the critics aren't. Well, why is that? There's a couple of possibilities. There's several possibilities. One is the critics find it funny, but they don't. It's shit. It's incredibly unfunny, painfully unfunny. So what else could be going on? Well, another explanation is that they don't find it funny, but they agree with the racist, sexist, bigoted politics of the far left. This chick makes unfunny jokes against white people multiple times in the opening. Now, I don't have a problem with jokes against white people, as long as you're prepared to make jokes against black people and brown people and other people. Of course, she doesn't do that, and very few white comedians would get away with that. So, of course, there's a huge double standard. As we know, the left is a house of cards built on double standards. There is yet another one. So this second group of people could be people that agree with this batshit leftist intersectional caste system. It's funny, she's ethnically Indian. Strange she'd want a caste system, isn't it? Very light-skinned as well. Just saying. Of course, I think we should live in a post-racial society. But there you go. Apparently that's getting old-fashioned. This group likes this crazy politics. They know it's not funny, but they give it a good rating because they like the politics. If you're supposed to be rating whether a TV show is good, whether art is good, and you give it a high rating just because you like the politics of the person in it, you're very bad at your job. So if anyone's doing this, they're just bad at their job. They're providing a bad service to people who will watch it, because no one who watches this will find it enjoyable. It's not enjoyable. It's just shit. Even people who agree with her politics, well, what's the point in sitting through an unfunny show just because you agree with the politics? And there's nothing entertaining about that. Then there's the third group of people, and I think virtually all of these journalists fit into this. These journalists, their lives are probably like when you see a dictator such as Saddam Hussein when he was alive, or probably even more so Kim Jong-un in North Korea. You see the latchers on standing around him, desperately trying to look busy, writing things on a pad. They're under threat of just random execution 24 hours a day. They can never relax. He could and does routinely just kill anyone who's shows any sign of disloyalty, or if he just feels like it, or if he catches someone's eye and he doesn't like the way they look, anything like that. So they are constantly scared for their lives because they think the dictator's going to kill them. This is what life for left-wing journalists must be like now in 2019. This whole time, rational, sensible people who hate social justice warriors and hate the far left, which is devouring the left and just becoming the left, this whole time we've looked at them with ridicule and disdain. And that's the wrong way of looking at most of these people. I mean, there are ideologues there. There are some lunatics who are communists or actual feminists who hate men. I think most journalists on the left know it's all bullshit, but they're too scared to say anything. We shouldn't be hateful or harshly critical towards them. We should just pity them, because they're all too scared to say the emperor's got no clothes. They all watch this show. They know it's not funny. There's no way anyone would find this funny. But they're too scared to say anything. Because if any of them stands up and says, you know what, this is shit, they'll probably lose their job, or they'll get called out as racist or sexist, especially if they're white, especially if they're men, especially if they're white men. So what you probably see a lot more is that white men in this kind of situation, they shout the loudest. It's just a defense mechanism. We should pity them. They are the North Korean dictators generals who are in fear for their life constantly. They don't have the ability, as some of us do, just to say fuck you to this whole bigoted, sexist, racist clusterfuck of bad ideas. They can't say the emperor's got no clothes. They may have families, they may have kids. They have to constantly pretend every day that a twat like Lilly Singh is funny. This must be soul-destroying to be forced into this position. So yeah, what we should have for... I'm going to make a figure up. This is a complete guess. 80 to 90% of left-wing journalists who do this kind of thing, they're living in constant terror for their livelihood and their jobs, and they know what they're doing is wrong. What I would say to those people is, you only live once. How long do you want to live in this state of denial, terror, and enforced double-think? How relieved would you be if you could just be honest with yourself and the world and say, Lilly Singh, she's a fucking feckless twat. She's not funny. She's just a fuckwit. She takes jokes that aren't funny, and her delivery is so bad, it somehow makes them even less funny. And she has to do a little thumbs up just to point out that was supposed to be a joke. It's like an open mic night, and she's not a funny person, and it's the first time she's been up on an open mic. It is cringe-inducing, and yeah, I think from now on we should look at most leftists, commentators, as prisoners, as people to pity, as people trapped in a lie. People living in 1984 every day and desperate to really speak the truth. I'm sure some of these people have probably got alter egos online. A lot of them have. I'm surprised no one that I'm aware of has been caught. Probably a lot of them have got alter egos online. It's like when you see a US senator or a religious leader in the US who's vehemently anti-gay, and then suddenly you find out that he's frequenting truck stops and banging 10 men a day surreptitiously. It's often the people that are most vehemently against something that are actually the most into it for various psychological reasons. But yeah, from now on, the emotion for the majority of these leftists, and see if we can work out which ones it is, should just be pity. I pity these critics. Actually, let's have a look at the names of some of these critics, shall we? Who's got Brian Lowry at CNN? It says he's a top critic. Let's have a look. Does he have a photograph? If he has a photograph, I'm going to predict this as a white dude. Let's see what he said. If hosting a late night show is a marathon, Lilly Singh bounded into her NBC series with plenty of energy, some promising moments, and a few easily corrected stumbles. That's a good review, is it? Apparently that's a good review. I mean, that's as close to saying it's fucking shit as he dare get. In fact, I would say that's actually not even a positive review. He's used the word marathon for a comedy show. It should not be a marathon. She bounded in. Oh, she's got plenty of energy. Again, that doesn't mean it's funny. Doesn't mean it's good. Promising moments, so shit moments. Then that's just not. And who decides whether something's positive or not? I guess it's the far leftist shills at Rotten Tomatoes. Let's have a look at another one. So this is John Doyle, again a white dude. Oh no, actually that's a musician. This is John Doyle, Globe and Mail. Again, it's a very white dude sounding name, isn't it? So like, it's a white dude, surprisingly. Canada. She has the brashness, energy and wit to command a show with ease. Shouldn't it be funny though, Johnny boy? Shouldn't it be funny? It's not funny, and you know it's not. And again, you're forced to say something you think sounds positive, but it's actually not positive because you can't quite bring yourself to lie, can you? Let's have a look at another one. Caroline Framke. Yeah, let's look up this chick. Guessing it's a white chick. Yep, she looks pretty white. Let's see what little gem she's come up with. She's an engaged interviewer, capable of steering the conversation where it needs to go, even when the occasional games she tries to play with the guests mostly end up more confusing than entertaining. This is fucking high school level shit. And it's really the bigotry of low expectations. If this was a white dude, everyone would rightly say, what the fuck is this shit? It's not funny. It's chaos. It doesn't even work. It's the bigotry of low expectations. Because it's a brown woman, what they're really saying is, look, we know women aren't as capable as men. We know, especially brown women, a bit dumb, can't compete with men, especially not on humour level. So the fact she's done this well done you. Well done for, got your little show there, pretending to be like a white man. The thing is, she made a lot of jokes about taking white people's jobs. Not going to be taking too many jobs if your level of performance is this shit. And that's the thing about a meritocracy, Lily. You've got to be better to succeed in it. So, of course, you want to take the caste system from your family's home country of India and introduce it in the US the other way around, don't you? Because that's the only way you're ever going to fucking succeed as a comedian, because you suck. Okay, let's have a look at one more. Richard Lawson, another white dude. I would say my hopes for the show are maybe a bit dimmed, but not yet daunted. Rotten Tomatoes has got that as a positive review. How the fuck is that a positive review? So these critics have all walked up to the line. None of them can quite risk saying it's fucking shit, because it is fucking shit. Lilly Singh is the least funny person I've ever fucking seen. None of them quite bring themselves to say that. But boy, they've got closer than I expected them to. Again, just more evidence of the matriarchy we live in, more evidence. But it's also evidence of the bigotry of low expectations. The bigotry against women that says that they're just not good enough to compete with men. In terms of comedy, they probably aren't. Women don't have. There's no societal reason for women to be funny like there is for men. It gets men laid. It doesn't really get women laid. It's not important for them to be funny. So there's no evolutionary reason. There's no societal reason for them to be funny. Lilly Singh's just proving the point. Men aren't women. Men are different to women. Women generally aren't really that funny. Stop trying to make men women. They're not. Men and women are different biologically. Get over it. And there's another explanation for why her show isn't funny. She has a writer's room now. So if she at least hired funny people, her show might be funny, even though, of course, she would just butcher the delivery, because she's just a fucking shit comedian who's only there because she's a brown woman, not because she has any talent. She's talentless. She hired a writer's room that was, I think, 50% non-white and 50% women. That's why your show sucks, because you didn't hire the funniest people. You hired people based on other criteria. That would be like getting a football team together And you can pick whoever you want for the football team. But instead of picking the best footballers, you picked the people with the nicest hair and the best fingernails. How good is that football team going to be? Lilly Singh has perfectly encapsulated a metaphor for why identity politics doesn't work, why the left doesn't fucking work, why this whole woke bullshit doesn't work, and why a meritocracy is the only thing we can have. And she's completely anti-meritocratic. She's a racist, sexist bigot. But also, this stuff doesn't work. This is why you need a meritocracy. If you're gonna pursue an endeavor, a business, or trying to make a show funny, you need to hire people who are the best at that, not people fitting other irrelevant criteria such as race and gender. Being a brown woman doesn't make you funny, as we can see from her. Hiring other brown women rather than funny white men who presumably you've tried to avoid because you're a racist and a sexist and a bigot. Lilly Singh is a bigot. I mean, when would someone on the right get a big show like this with that level of bigotry, making jokes about non-white people constantly? Jokes that aren't even funny. White men don't get away with funny jokes about non-white people, let alone unfunny jokes. And all she does is fucking unfunny jokes about white people. It's like, oh, those white people, do you know what I mean? It's not fucking funny, Lily. But yeah, she's perfectly encapsulated the problems of discounting a meritocracy. You need to hire the best people. And your faulty operating system, your bigoted, racist, sexist operating system, stopping you doing it. And it's making you look like a twat, isn't it? It wouldn't surprise me if she just goes out and hires a load of white dudes who are funny to save this show. Problem is she'll butcher the delivery then as well. And she'll keep making these just cringe-inducing white people jokes. I don't have a problem with white jokes, as long as you're prepared to make jokes against black people as well. How many black jokes are you going to make, Lily? 0. Because you're a fucking racist, aren't you? So yeah, meritocracy. It's good for a reason you don't fucking understand.